You've probably seen this clip about 100 times already, but I've got to talk about it because it's absolutely bizarre. The best team in the Eastern Conference are getting spanked in one game, so their best player tries to fight his own coach. Sure, this might not rank up there with the wildest altercations in NBA history, but it may be a bad sign for the Heat's title hopes. Could this obvious tension continue to build until Miami implodes on itself? Or is this exactly what the Heat needed as they prepare for the playoffs? For the majority of the season, the Miami Heat have been one of the best teams in the entire league. And they've mostly done it how you might expect a Miami Heat team to win. Defense. They rank 5th in defensive rating, 4th in opponents' points per game, 4th in opponents' three-point percentage, and 4th in opponents' field goal percentage. Their offense is more middle of the pack statistically. They rank 12th in offensive rating. But they're the best three-point shooting team in the league, and they've almost never been playing with a fully healthy roster. Other than Duncan Robinson and PJ Tucker, every single player on the team who gets major minutes has missed at least 12 games, if not significantly more. This includes 20 missed games from both Bam and Jimmy Butler. This makes this team's tremendous success not just impressive, but pretty scary for the rest of the league. That is, if the Heat can get out of their own way. On March 23rd, the Heat were in the middle of a third-quarter beatdown when a timeout devolved into a full-on screaming match. Coach Spo and Butler had to be separated from one another, a clipboard got dramatically slammed, and it genuinely looked like hands were about to be thrown. Coach Spo handled the argument like a boss, telling the press that the argument was over where they were going out for dinner that night. But Jimmy Butler has been unusually silent. On the one hand, emotions run high during NBA games, and passionate players and coaches are bound to butt heads once in a while. I mean, Dwayne Wade got into blowups with both Coach Riley in 2006 and Coach Spo in 2012. Both years, the Heat went on to win a championship. On the other hand, this wasn't your average flaring of tempers, and the dude who seemed to start it all does have a pretty dicey history with his former teams. In Chicago, Butler called his coach out in the media. He had a bunch of heated arguments with Joakim Noah, then publicly stated that his teammates didn't care as much as he did. It's not like Jimmy was totally in the wrong to do or say all these things while he was on the Bulls, but this is the sort of stuff you keep between the team and definitely don't bring to the media. Unless, of course, you're a bit of a toxic teammate. Butler was eventually traded to Minnesota in the summer of 2017, and it wasn't long until more drama started up again. A week before the 2018 season's media day, Jimmy requested a trade for Minnesota. The team was reluctant to give up their all-star player they just traded for, a guy who helped the team reach the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. So Jimmy showed up to practice, jumped on a squad with the third-string players, and started absolutely destroying his teammates in a scrimmage. The entire time, Butler was trash-talking, shouting, and cursing off his teammates and coaches. Butler played just 10 games that season with Minnesota and then was finally traded to Philly. With the Sixers, things weren't quite as dramatic, but there were rumblings of disagreements between him and Coach Brett Brown, and his time there was short. Knowing all of this about Butler seems to make a scuffle with Coach Spo a lot more ominous. He's a great player who wants to win more than anything, but his emotions get the best of him and he just kind of doesn't know how to get along with, like, anybody. It's hard to imagine that this moment was just a weird one-off confrontation, especially because confrontation seems to happen wherever Butler goes. However, there's one big difference between every other team Jimmy has played for and this one. Everyone who's into the NBA has heard about the Heat culture. It's a meme at this point, and it's taking credit for all the good things that have happened to Miami over the years. But what does culture have to do with it? And what does it mean anyway?
Our mission in Miami was that we wanted to become the hardest working, best conditioned, most professional, unselfish, toughest, most admired team in the NBA.
Heat culture is why Shaq completely dropped his attitude when he joined Miami, why role players sacrifice everything for the team's success, and why everyone, from your staff to your superstars, are expected to live up to a certain standard.
So when I got to D-Wade, I was like, I know you heard all the stories. It's your team. You the man, you the CEO, I'll be the consultant.
The one stat that exemplifies Heat culture better than anything else is defense. Defense is 99% hard work and dedication. The Heat have been top 10 in the league in opponents' points per game for the last 13 years in a row. 10 of those years, they were top 5, meaning the Heat have just outworked every other NBA team. Whether it was D Wade running the show or as the Big Three, or Goran Dragic and Dion Waiters, or Butler and Bam, this team always plays good defense. And they almost always win more games than they lose. Since 1997, Miami as a franchise has won the 4th most games, the 3rd most playoff games, and they're tied for the 3rd most titles. You don't have decades of success like this without the entire organization getting something incredibly right. Plus, there's been plenty of drama before this Butler incident that Miami has made it through. Still, knowing Jimmy's history with other teams, it makes you wonder if the Heat are just one bad loss or 2 away from Jimmy absolutely losing it. Right now, it seems like the path to the NBA title is about as wide open as it's been in the last decade. And betting on a team with championship pedigree, a president with almost as many rings as he has fingers, and a 14-year head coach who's been to the mountaintop twice over seems pretty safe. But let's just say it won't be surprising if clipboards start flying sometime in the middle of the first round, especially if the Heat have the misfortune of catching the Brooklyn Nets. However it goes, it should be interesting, and everyone other than Miami Heat fans will be grabbing their popcorn if round 2 suddenly starts up. What do you think? Was the Butler Coach Spo drama something that Heat fans need to worry about? Or was it just a heated moment that will lead to another Miami championship? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out, and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button. Peace!